Hey, greetings. This is Matthew from Jefferson State Air Rifles, and it's certainly a beautiful day here in the state of Jefferson. Caught a little rain and now it's sunny, and I've been meaning to do this for a while, so I want to show you guys a glimpse of the new assembly shop here. So let's go. Here is where the assembly begins. I've been stacking and snagging parts from under the bench and off the shelves in order to put the sub-assemblies together, like the triggers and the valves and the regulators and the breech. And then I bring over to the test stand here, and I can send pressure in to check for leaks on these new revised balance valves, clear anodizing. And after seeing a number of repairs and the history of this valve, I've been able to restructure and revisit the ratio and design out some of the leaks we've seen along the way. And I can also put the new externally adjustable regulator in the stand and check it for leaks. Adjustable from through the lower mag rail here. And I set them low and tune them up. And if you wish, you can switch one or both of the gauges to the other side because there's the same thread pattern. And at this point, I like to charge the system and let it set for multiple days or as long as I can to double check that there's no pesky slow leaks that can take a while to show themselves. And as we look on down the assembly line, continue filling out the build with the appropriate transfer port and the breech and tuning in the trigger and buffing everything as we go, and mount the barrel and stick a scope on it and bring it up here to the test stand so that you can measure the trigger pull, the velocity a couple different ways, gather the muzzle report, and get a shot of the range out there, which is awesome. So since acquiring Jefferson State Air Rifles, this is where a lot of my energy has gone. I didn't have the space and the power to run the CNC machines here, and frankly it's been a nice little reprieve from programming the machines, but gone through all the drawings, revising a lot of the parts, redesigning some of the parts, checking all the tolerances, and finalizing the drawings so that all of the manufacturing can be outsourced as close to home as possible. A lot of it's right here in the valley. Some parts have to come from a little farther, but I want to keep it manufactured and assembled here in the USA. And really happy with all the manufacturing. Super clean. And then to go with the Raptors, we have some revised rotary magazines that are anodized black aluminum, and some clear lids, some O-rings for helping hold the projectiles, and some stick magazines that also have that O-ring to help hold them. And these cool looking screws help keep the tension appropriate there. And they're machined in Delrin and aluminum. Not quite finished, still need to finish out the design and manufacture some single shot trays, but they are still coming. And here's a guy ready for the tuning bench. Well, here's just a little shop mini 357, which is pretty fun. And along with the balance valve, I went ahead and put together some straight valves that I haven't played with or tested as much as I want to yet, but kind of the idea there was I stuck one in a mini 177 field target rifle. And then also working on some Marauder upgrade components. So for the pistol or the P-rod, I've got a stock adapter that allows you to bolt in place of the factory plug and still giving you all of your hammer spring adjustment and allowing any standard AR buffer tube to thread in and any shoulder stock you want there. And also a new manufacturing run of P-rod balance valves, which turned out really clean, open nice and easy. For the Marauder rifles, we've got one of the revised balance valves. These ones are black anno, super clean, open nice. And we've got super hammers, amazing surface finish, super smooth, and some twin spring systems. And these are handy if you're experimenting or tuning up and down for different projectile weights. Makes it easy to just pull the springs out and swap them out and try different combinations, and you can also tune in some free flight for your hammer if you wish. And in an effort to finally control that hammer flight, these are spring stopping guides that allow you to adjust the preload on the spring and the position, so you can tune in or out whether or not you want that free flight in your hammer. We also have some AR stock adapter kits if you want to take the stock off and give it more of that AR skeletonized look and lighten it up a touch. And then as we look around the shop here, we see all the coloring on the floor and the walls and the ceiling. And a little story: as I was prepping this space to move the shop in here and getting ready for insulation in the roof, my feet were just about in the rafters, and my ladder fell through, pushing my feet forward, and I landed right here on flat on my back, breaking my ribs and lower back and hip. Really got messed up right before moving the entire shop in here, including the heavy tools like the lathe and the mill. And here's a view of some of the drafting and all the different configurations we've done. And so here's where I've been turning the barrels in to fit and featuring them to mount into the breech. And once that's done machining, bring them up here and polish them up real good. Make sure that chamber and the muzzle are looking great. And the rest of the shop, there's a few saws, and still need to finish out the spray booth and can clean up parts if we need. So anyway, the shop's coming together, super excited. Parts are in hand, the assemblies are coming together really nicely, and really glad and to see the way the new revised balance valve and these new regulators are playing well together. And in fact, let's give you a sneak peek at that. Let's activate the radar here. And here is a 30 cal. And so I'm going to make sure we're on target, and I'm just barely going to touch it so you can see the whole ride here. .889 with 44 grains, that's about 78 foot-pounds, and that's with low pressure, a light spring, and so it's super smooth, hardly any recoil to speak of, just a nice ride. Super stoked, and so I wanted to give you guys a peek at the shop, and hope you guys enjoy these new Rogue Raptors.